Do you want to read that whole thing?
I figured if you need a copy of the agenda, there's quite an explanation there. But
Well, hopefully we can go through this and I can make some sense of it. Benloch Ranch is located up in the Jordanelle Basin in JBOZ, just on that southeast arm of Jordanelle, south of Highway 32. So it's about 2,000 acres. It runs from Victory Ranch on the east all the way to Jackson Fork, which is the Cummings property on the west, and includes the Cummings property. So this map shows the Sorensen property in pink. Everything else, these three properties here are what are now Benloch Ranch. So we've got Talisman, that was formerly Aspens at Jordanelle. We've got the Olson property that is Highlands at Jordanelle, and then about half of the Cummings property, this south half of the Cummings property, that is all part of this 2,000-acre Benloch Ranch that was bought and went through that settlement agreement that was signed in 2016, I want to say. So just a quick synopsis of the project. As I mentioned, it's about 2,000 acres and it's a compilation of Aspens, which was then Talisman, and then Cummings, which is also referred to as Jackson Fork, and then Highlands, which is Olson. So every project has to have about 5 different aliases. So it's about 2,046 ERUs. And those are vested. What that means is in the settlement agreement, the 2,046 ERUs were vested, but as we go through the preliminary approvals, if there's roads that don't work, if there's constraints, ridgeline, slopes, those types of things, that number could go down. So they're vested under our current code for a period of 4 years. And obviously the current code has all those requirements in it, the ridge lines, the road slopes, the trail standards, that type of thing.
4 years from what date?
The signing of the settlement agreement. And I've got that, I think I've got that on a future slide.
It was sometime in 2016, so we're about 2 years into that now.
So just as a comparison, Timber Lakes is about 1,580 lots. And it's on about 2,000 acres. So this is very similar.
size-wise.
Size-wise. And just slightly less in density. Oh, the last one. The project can start at preliminary. This is a statement in the settlement agreement. The project can start at preliminary if the planning director determines that it's substantially in compliance with the previously approved master plans. I wish that statement wasn't in there, because I hate to have that type of yeah, I don't want that ability to be arbitrary or whatever. The discussion today is I want some guidance from the council on the preliminary plan that's proposed. They've applied for their preliminary approval. And so I'd like some input on product type, if the council thinks it's substantially similar to the approved master plans. And if so, I may feel more comfortable moving forward at a preliminary level and not going back to master plan. And the master plan typically sets density. You have a master plan, physical constraints analysis, and density determination. So the density set, so really I prefer to go forward at preliminary if we can work through the issues of being substantially similar to the approved master plan. So the timeline, there's the date, October 12, 2016 is the date of the settlement agreement. We had a meeting on January 18th regarding the architecture for the proposal. I received some renderings of some units in there that they didn't comply with code, and I know they don't comply with the intention of the approved master plans. So then we had another meeting, and some new renderings were submitted. Based on those new renderings, I signed a letter saying that based on the land use plan, I feel this can go forward at preliminary. Well, then the preliminary application was submitted, and we had different renderings submitted that were similar to the ones that were previously submitted when I wrote the letter saying we can go forward at preliminary. So on the left side of the screen, the upper lighter green one is the proposed bubble diagram of densities, and then this drawing here. This drawing here is the Highlands Master Plan, the Talisman Master Plan, and the south portion of the Cummings Master Plan. Obviously, there will be some changes in the master plan because Talisman had a golf course. They had a village, they had a mixed-use center, they had a resort area here, medium-density residential here. But what I want to do is make sure that what they propose going forward is similar enough and quality is similar to what was previously approved. You can see the submitted preliminary plan. And what's a little difficult with this is they're all single-family detached lots. And what you had with the previous plans was a mixture of attached, some stacked, some hotel, resort product. And obviously, when you're taking your units and stacking them and doing side by side, it opens up a lot of open space rather than having them all on single-family lots.
Do you know the calculation of the open space on this one?
On this one, maybe Nate knows.
Yeah, so the proposed plan has about 8% more than the vested document. So it's about 45% open space.
8% more, even though you want to put single-family homes and then stack them in hotels.
That is correct.
The old one, my understanding, was 40%.
Yeah, I mean, all combined together, the old one was 38, and we're at 45 and some change.
This shows a little bit of a blow-up of the plan. So it's hard to see, but this is the Highlands Jordanelle. You can see in here, you've got some stacked units here, you've got townhouses here, and single family here, townhouse stacked. And then on this one, this isn't a very good rendering, but I'll show you one that shows there's a resort center, mixed use center, that I'll have a better drawing of. Okay, on this one you can see the stacked units here, the townhouse product here, and here. This is the land use summary for the Talisman master plan, breakdown of the low-density residential, medium-density residential. They have, so this is Highway 32. So you've got medium-density residential in this kind of canary yellow. This is their resort area, and then their mixed-use area here. And this is the golf. So these were the drawings that were initially submitted to me, and my reaction was they don't meet our code in a number of different places. And then we met after that, and these were presented to me, and I felt like, you know, those are great. I think they meet our code, and we can work with those. I wrote the letter saying we can start at preliminary. And when I got the preliminary application, I got these types of renderings, which again I don't believe comply with code or the intent of the approved master plans. So you have an understanding of what was presented with Talisman. I thought I'd go through some of their proposals real quick. These are slides of their proposed architecture. Everything was stick-built custom homes on site, and very high-end features, all rock. Foundations were covered in rock. You can see the elements. They're showing exposed beams, hardy plank, semi-plank, stone again, stone chimneys. Residential product, the resort stuff, mixed use product, and attached residential stuff. Their golf course clubhouse, with materials, the landscape plan for the golf course clubhouse, the community amenities proposed, the kids camp and the outfitters lodge. These are kind of the common area elements, bridges and entryway features. One of their subdivision layouts, street lighting. This is the only more formal detail that I found in the Talisman submittal. But again, it shows the stone and no exposed foundation even on the daylight side of the walkout basement. Entry road design and landscaping. Cross-section of roads and landscaping. Their trail plan and landscape master plan. They represented, and these are minutes from August 8th, I think it says 2007. And I think they're representing, it says that they're representing that they're intending to be 90% second home. Obviously, we can't guarantee that. Most developers will tell you that. But I think their intent was to have a highly amenitized development where property owners had to pay into an HOA to support those amenities. And it seems like we typically see that in second home communities. And that's all I've got. I guess in a nutshell, I really think this is a great opportunity to do a great project. And I think the applicant feels the same way. But I got to be honest with what's been approved and the intent of what's been approved. And I can't go before the Planning Commission and tell them one thing if I don't feel good about it, or the council. So my recommendation would be that we start the review process at preliminary only after an application is submitted in compliance with the code and substantially similar to previous master plans and commitments from applicant on product quality, amenities, landscaping, land use, etc. that are verified in the application. Any questions?
Okay, any questions for Doug?
Doug, could you go back to this line that had the new rendering? So it'd be right, yeah, right before Talisman, I think. No, back to more.
Are you asking for the ones that he didn't feel like were the...
Right, yeah. Okay, so this is the ones that you felt like were not in compliance with the code?
Yeah.
Could you just briefly point out what it is you look at and say, okay, this is not in compliance, this is not in compliance?
Well, we have a minimum depth dimension of 20 feet on any home. And to me, if this is connected by breezeways, I'm going to look at that as a minimum dimension. We have an eave overhang, we have a roof pitch, which these may be in compliance with. There's a 2-car covered parking requirement. There's not a square footage requirement. But I don't think these are in compliance with the intent of the original master plans either.
Right, so go back one more slide. Or another one? Yeah, those are the original ones that were submitted, right?
These are ones that were submitted just prior to me writing a letter stating that I feel it could move forward preliminary. And then these were the ones submitted with the preliminary application.
Right. And then before these, there was the one that the original developer had submitted right before.
No, these were the ones that were submitted when the prior to the project closing that I looked at said, these don't comply with the code.
So Doug, if we don't start at preliminary, we go back to master plan, what's the steps there? They have to come in, we got the density already determined.
Right.
They just have to come in and look at the designs and...
Yeah, and you know, probably 70% of the master plan is determining density and constraints analysis. So that's somewhat been determined. So it seems
the
like,
architectural design portion of it is...
well, in master plan, all we're looking for is precedence pictures, and then at preliminary, we're looking for more detail. So I would hope that if we can get on the same page and work together on this, that we could start at preliminary and submit something that works for everybody.
Okay. Anything else for Doug?
So switching from condos and apartments, you had some of those originally, and now just single family homes. I think it'll still stay pretty high, about 90% second homes.
No.
I think that's going to adjust anything.
I don't know, we can probably ask what's in, around the corner right now. Mr. Graham's here. What is your ownership? Or is that a loaded question?
98% second homes.
Okay. What about,
It depends too on the price range. What's
Yeah.
the price range going to be on this?
They have a presentation, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I think we'll get to that and then.
what about the loss of mixed use? Not having any commercial out there at all now? Is that part of the master plan?
Well, I think they may have an idea to do some, yeah.
Okay.
So, why don't we go to and hear from these folks that have come to show us some things today, and then we'll come back for questions for all. Does that sound good? You ready to run? Oh, you're just loading up. Pass these out to you, gentlemen. Thank you.
I do not know how to bring the blender.
All you gotta do is push this way.
The down button.
Yeah.
Which one is my best not raise it?
Which one do you want to give it to, Jamie?
Well, that's fine. I can start there. My name is Jamie McKay. Thanks for having us, and Chair of Commissioners. To start off, I guess, I've bought and sold quite a bit of real estate throughout the western United States, Jackson, Wyoming, Bozeman, Montana, Vail. I'm working at some stuff, obviously here in Wasatch County. Encompassing all that's probably around $150 to $175 million in real estate development. First and foremost, I want to let you guys know we're not here to do anything that is not up to the scale and par that you saw with the Talisman and Cummings and whatever was presented before. We have just come through, I guess, the best document that was said that we have 2,046 ERUs. I worked in conjunction with Doug numerous times back and forth on different site plans. We did have some, I guess, disagreements on style guide and architecture. And then we ended up with our final style guide, which I believe you'll see in this, which is the more stone, rock, timber. Pretty much every development we have done has been timber frame, panel windows and doors, cedar stone countertops, Hansgrohe fixtures, very high-end stuff. So we're not here to, bring in a lower quality product home. That being said, there we go. So I believe, Nate, this was the plan. Was this the approved plan from the date we signed the document signed by Doug and Mike? That one up there.
It's a little bit different. It doesn't have, it's got stuff down in that
Yeah.
weight.
Keep going down, sorry. Down. Keep going.
There it is. So that was the dock design, and we all agreed that we didn't think we needed another golf course, right? It was probably what, 25 in the valley? And we also did our own market study with a company called Metro Study, and they basically went through basically what the market demands are. And they said predominantly second home buyers are buying single-family detached. And there's less maintenance, less HOA issues, all that stuff. And so that's what we went with, because the vested document didn't say anything about product type. It only discussed ERUs. So we were solely focused, mostly legal down on the vested document, and maybe got our head got in the sky and didn't really think about the style guide quite so much. Now that we understand that, I think we're on solid ground here with the letter that you have in front of you and with our new style guide that we have. Excuse me. And I think you'll see, is the style guide in here?
It is, you scroll down maybe 10.
And we worked back and forth with Doug, who's been great, to work with the Ridgeline ordinance, because a lot of the Talisman plat and other things that are actually platted on the property currently, that we technically could start building if we wanted to today. But pull a permit, we're working with Doug to pull the Ridgeline stuff off and work with everybody to continue to move this project forward in a timely fashion. So here's our latest style guide from our architect. We have
And this is what will be officially submitted with the preliminary when we resubmit. So you can see officially what style of architecture, quality of architecture will be submitted.
Yes, you have stone, you have charwood, we have, everything in this is very high end. It's very, very similar to Promontory, to Victory Ranch, to the surrounding areas. The area we feel, I don't feel like it commands attached and condos in that area. I feel it's more of a residential area that makes more sense for cabin-like products. Not a bunch of monolithic buildings up there on that hillside. I don't think that's what would look best. That's my personal opinion. Same thing, more houses, more style guides, rock, stone. Here we go. The bridge is very similar to the one I just saw. So, we're doing a very nice entry feature. And then back to the same style guide again, more of the homes. Much like the stuff you see around here, we're doing amenities too. We're going to have, there's going to be a zip line, a tube park, there's going to be equestrian, there's going to be skeet shooting. This is going to be, basically, we're going to be selling this product to second home buyers. That's what the Metro study said, that's what the home market study said, that's what the appraisal said. So, I'll just roll through more of these for you gentlemen. We've lots of biking trails. We're going to interconnect our trails to Sorensen's, which is going to, I think, basically interconnect about a few hundred acres or a few hundred miles of trails, which we're kind of the keystone there, which will be great. Here we go, some puppy dogs, kids, little paddle tennis, and butterflies. We got some butterflies. You got to throw the pool in, right? And there's, we do have a mermaid. We'll go back to check. It is a mermaid. We do have a resort area at the front, much like the previous master plan.
So it is a commercial plan for a commercial use type?
Yeah, so there'll be some grocery stores, ancillary things, so people that sit less cars around 32. Things of that nature. We're going to have a small resort area where people can stay overnight, et cetera, et cetera. So. We just keep on trucking.
Doug, as this goes, this would have to go to planning commission as well, right? So we'd have to do public hearings, get input from the planning commission, and then recommend it to us with either an approval or denial based on what's shown at that time as well for preliminary, correct? Right.
Do you gentlemen have any questions for me?
Anything further for what's your projected price range?
That's probably gonna be, I don't really have that quite yet. I mean, Amy can probably speak to that a little bit more. She's with Keller Williams, and she's the one that we've been engaged to work to sell this product, and she's kind of steered us in this direction of where we should go with Western Contemporary unit. So she can speak to more of that.
And you're Jamie, correct?
I'm Jamie, yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions for Jamie? Okay, if not, we'll...
Yes.
Mr. Kozakowski.
Thank you. My name is Mike Kosakowski. Kit and I are residents of the Jordanelle. I'd like to welcome you to the Jordanelle. I have a couple of questions. One is, are any access roads to the Sorensen property up on the plateau coming through this property? And I guess this is more for both you and Doug.
I believe there's a road that goes up towards the Sorensen property, and I've been in communication with Mike Bradshaw and John Plumps numerous occasions about working together.
Okay, so one of the access roads to the Sorensen property would come through your property. You've agreed to that?
We have not agreed to that yet.
Okay.
No. We don't, that has not been on the table, so we're focused on the, housing types and the things of that nature.
Okay, well, we don't have a position on it tonight. We'd like to talk to you about that, though.
Yeah.
What affordable housing code rules apply to this property, given that it's claimed to be vested? And there's several people in this room that deal with affordable housing. I wish we would have had this first on it, because it's unclear to us whether we have current rules or we're still going by the old rules. So I'm looking around the room here. There are several people involved in this. What rules apply?
Now, if it's vested, will it be under the old rules?
I think what we would say is that it's under the current code, which is what they're investing in for 4 years.
Yeah. They have not begun any permitting. They have not begun any construction. They have not.
There's a settlement agreement that overrides some of that.
There may well be a settlement agreement, but and then we have yet to pass the update on that. We've been debating that for, gosh, well over a year. We're putting $25 million off the table because we have not done what we're supposed to be doing on affordable housing. That's the fee in lieu of that I calculate on your on the 2,000 ERUs.
That's a matter of which opinion you have as it relates to the affordable housing plan.
Well, it would, if you went with fee in lieu of under the proposed rules, we're talking about a sizable amount of money here.
Is this what you want to, you probably want to save that for...
Well, I just want to get it on the table now.
Sure. Thank you.
Because I don't know
this is not the last we'll see of this. These issues will all have to be addressed as it goes through the process. We're just making sure it can go on. He can get the process started.
Welcome you to, among the issues that we have in the backside here.
I'm well aware.